let's talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I'm trying something new today. I actually bought this green screen from the dollar store. It is just a tablecloth that I folded up and stuck to my wall, and we'll see if this works. And you guys can let me know in the comment section if this is a way you'd like to continue to see reviews on shows and movies with stuff behind me, or if it's better from the chair. I did do a short on the first episode of this show, and then I didn't do anything else. So this video is going to be my thoughts on the entire show. And let's start with episode 1. After seeing the entire show, I did feel like the fight that we got at the beginning of episode 1 with Georges St-Pierre was a little tacked on. Even though it was at the beginning, I felt like by the time I saw like the full picture of the show, that fight scene, I mean, like, cool, I guess, intro Danny Ramirez's character, who I really wish we got more of. But other than that, like, it was okay. I didn't feel like, what's his name? BATROC. I didn't feel like his character was like, he could have been anyone. It didn't matter that it was him, you know? And I wish that it had mattered that it was him, or there was some more buildup there, or that it wasn't him. Also, looking at the whole picture of the show, the amount of buildup that went into the Bucky-Yuri relationship, I felt that the very small conversation we got in the finale was not enough. Like, it was good, I enjoyed it, I felt a lot, but I wanted more. And also, of course, in episode 1, we get the intro of the Flag Smashers, who I just, like, I didn't care. I didn't care about them at all, and Carly held a little bit of interest for me, but by the time I got to episode 3, I was over her. I felt that the real strength of this show came in people's relationships, and one thing that I loved so much was Bucky in therapy. I thought Bucky in therapy was great, and I also really love that we got to see Sam and his family. I think in these movies, it's so rare that we get to see like what is normal life for these superheroes, and we really got to see that in this show. At the end of episode 1, of course, we get the intro of John Walker, and in episode 2 we get a bit more from him, and I don't know, I felt like he wasn't used as well as he could have been used, and the way he made decisions, the way his character was written, and then having this like tiny redemption arc in the finale episode, I think I could have seen him be a pawn for the big bad as like the bad guy of this full season. And maybe we'll get that later, but I think I wanted that just because I was so underwhelmed by Carly and the Flag Smashers as the big bad. That said, I did really love Battlestar and like Tuffy when he died. Yeah, I felt that one. That one got me in the feels. I also loved the introduction of Isaiah Bradley. I thought it was done so well. I thought Sam's outrage was so justified, and I thought that it was like a little ballsy, I guess, to do the police scene outside of Isaiah Bradley's house the way the show did it, and I liked it. I thought it was great. I thought in general, like, the way this show discussed really tough topics was handled extremely well. Oh my gosh, I want more of Sam and Bucky in couples counseling. Like, that was just such a great scene. Their staring contest and everything about it, and so like real and hard when Bucky had his moment of saying, if Steve was wrong about you, then maybe he was wrong about me. And that to me was just like such a powerful moment, and it let me in to see why Bucky was fighting so hard for this, and that it was in a way a selfish fight, and that he had to kind of get out of his own way to support Sam and really be a team with this new, eventually, Captain America. And then oh, thank you, comic book and Disney gods. We get Zemo. I want more Zemo. I want to dance with Zemo. I actually really didn't love Zemo's introduction in the movies, but the way he was brought in here, I loved his character so much. In episode 3, we also meet Zemo's butler, who a friend of mine had to remind me was the guy in the car who blew up the super soldiers in the finale, because I was like, who the heck is this old guy? And we see Sharon, who, like, immediately, we all knew she was the power broker, right? There was never any doubt in anyone's mind that she was the power broker. It was actually something that really bugged me that Sam and Bucky never figured that out. In general, I thought episode 3 was pretty fun. I was really excited when we got the Wakandans entering in the end. And then in episode 4, I think we really get, for maybe not for the first time, but for me, like the first time it clicked, that Sam's best and most effective weapon in his arsenal is communication. And we really see him try and use this with Carly in this episode. We see this again in the finale when he's schooling the senators on how they should see the world. And of course, John Walker comes in guns a-blazing and totally ruins the whole thing. I did also love, I think we all had a like, ooh, you done fucked up moment when this happened, right?
I think we got off on the wrong foot.
The Dora Milaje in general, like, I could watch them all day. I could watch a show about them. I could watch them run drills, you know? They're so badass. As I said before, I really liked Battlestar. Him dying, like, got me right in the feels. I felt some of John Walker's, like, I felt so much for him. And then we have this crazy scene where he bludgeons a guy to death with the shield. And one thing that struck me, which is maybe like a touchy topic, and if you're getting your panties in a twist over the thing that I'm gonna say next, feel free to fight me in the comment section. It helps engagement. Thank you. Is that this shot, this crazy, like, epic shot, it made me think, oh, this is what the United States of America is. This image here, that's what they are. That might not be who they want to be or who they hope to be or who they'll grow to be, but right now, like, this is where they are. And then we get what is maybe my favorite episode. Episode 5, where, like, not a ton action-wise happens. We get a great fight scene right at the beginning. We open up with Sam using his best weapon, communication, trying to at least. And I think there's a really great moment where John Walker says, why are you making me do this? And we can see that he really, really believes that they are making him do this. And I really could have seen him as the big bad, or like the person in front of the big bad in this season, just because he's such a dumb dummy. And he's going to be taken advantage of by Val, of course, right? It was sad to see Zemo go, but of course, like, we're going to get him again, right? 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 We're gonna get more Zemo. I did really love the conversation we got between Sam and Isaiah Bradley. And I think, again, this is another parallel that we're seeing. Sam's line to Isaiah of saying, don't do that bitter old man stuff with me. I think just like kind of the shield image and seeing what America is versus what they want to be or could be, I think that Isaiah being so hurt and bitter is like very legitimate, but not where we can stay if we want to create positive change. And I thought the dichotomy between him and Sam in this conversation and then in their conversation again in the finale was great. Sarah and Bucky, I love it. I wanted more. I loved their flirting so much. It wasn't a lot of time spent on it, but I really enjoyed it. Just great. I also really love seeing Bucky kind of find a place within Sam's family, and I think that's the strength of this show. It's not the conflict, it's not even necessarily the plot, it's the characters and like their little plots, their little relationships. The strength of this show is the story of Sam and Bucky, is the story of Bucky and himself. And I thought that shone most in episode 5. There's also a moment in episode 5 where I fell so in love with Sebastian Stan that I forgot Henry Cavill's name. I will say, like, after all of that, after a great conversation between Sam and Bucky, we do get a training montage, which I'm like, why? Why is this here? Why is this here? One of my biggest criticisms about shows, and especially shorter shows, but definitely not exclusive to shorter shows, is the lack of showing an accurate passage of time. Like this training montage, how much time has passed? Is this an afternoon? Is this a year? Is this a week, a month? Like what is it? We have no indication of how much time has passed. We just see Sam working out. How long did it take him to figure this stuff out? Did he not do any of this work before when he was thinking whether or not he should be Captain America the first time? I don't know. I feel like when you're hanging out with Cap that much, like you probably have thrown the shield around a few times, and I don't know that we needed this scene here. But that's just like a general pet peeve. And if any of you have seen the show Gallivant, there's a hilarious bit about a training montage in one of those episodes in the first season, but that's neither here nor there. And then too soon for my liking, we get the finale. I thought Sam's suit was pretty cool. I did think that like maybe they could have gone with just goggles and not having like ear holes and like a little bald cap. I just feel like helmets are funny. Like all of that whole thing, sometimes they look funny, and it looked funny on Chris Evans, looks funny on Anthony Mackie. I think that it just looks funny. Carly and the Flag Smashers were still lame. Like I didn't really care so much about her. I didn't feel a lot when she died. I got what the show was going for in the sense of like everybody's a hero of their own story, and Carly isn't all bad, but I just felt like she was such a self-righteous kid, and she frustrated me. And again, I was super disappointed with how obvious it was to us, the viewer, that Sam and Bucky didn't put together that Sharon was a power broker. I also think the post-credit scene was kind of stupid because of who we saw Sharon through the movies and who she is now. Like those two people don't make sense, that they are the same person, that now she's just interested in money. I don't know. I either need to know more about how she got to be this person, or I'm never gonna really buy into her being this villain. I feel pretty medium about John Walker's like mini redemption arc. I actually think that this is gonna be detrimental to his character on a whole, because now as US agent working for Val and whoever she's with, it just, in this episode, I feel like he understood that the best, most effective place for him to help the most people is behind Sam and Bucky. You know, like that kind of third position with them. And so now for him to not be that, I feel like the golden boy or like the guy that Battlestar believed him to be really has to disappear for that to happen. And I don't know. I feel like he's a good guy. He's just stupid. And if he now, I don't know, maybe he's dumb enough not to realize that the best, most effective place for him is behind Sam and Bucky. But I'm excited to see where his character goes, and I'm really pumped that there's going to be a second season for this. Sam and Bucky, I just want to watch them more. I really love the pilot swap scene. I thought that was really cool. And then we get Sam giving a speech to the senators, using his #1 weapon, communication, asking us to ask why. I loved this. Someone's actions might be horrific, but it's a symptom of something else. If we stop the symptom, the action, but never ask why, and fight the disease, we can never create real, lasting, positive change. As I said earlier, I thought the Yuri-Bucky conversation in this episode was a little faster than I would have liked, still effective, still hit me in the feels. I just wanted a little bit more for how much Bucky has developed through these 6 episodes. I also didn't love the idea that he's not going to therapy anymore, because personally, like as somebody who's been in therapy my entire life, I see how effective it is. And even when I don't have anything to talk about, I still go to therapy. Like I have an appointment with my therapist once every 3 weeks, even if things are going great, because I know that it's like taking my vitamins, you know, it's like taking medication. It's medication to invisible injuries and invisible hurts, and that Bucky apparently, I mean, I guess we'll see, isn't going anymore. I guess he believes in Band-Aid therapy, and I'm a lifer. It also hit me right in the feels when Sam took Isaiah to the Super Soldier Museum, and he had a space there that Sam was able to create space for Isaiah, and they were able to find some common ground where before they had such differing views of how to move their country and the world forward. The last few scenes, the cookout was super fun. I really wanted to see a little bit more interaction between Bucky and Sarah, but the moment I lost it, the thing that got me in the end was the title change. I don't know why. That was the thing that did it for me, and I bawled like a baby. Like that hit me. They did a really good job there. Got me right in the feels. Post-credit scene was kind of stupid, as I already said. I don't really understand how Sharon got to the person she is now. Overall, I loved this show, even though I thought the Flag Smashers were kind of dumb, and I wish John Walker had had some different things to do. I think the reason I love this show so much was because it was about more than these superheroes that we were watching. It was about the world. It was about how we see each other and how we communicate with each other and how we can grow and be better together. It was about relationships. Sam and Bucky, Sam and Isaiah, Bucky and himself, and Sam with us the audience, and history and the world, and how we can see each other differently and more authentically and ask why, how we can love more and better, and how we can be friends instead. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling. What did you guys think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, now Captain America and the Winter Soldier? Are there any points that really stood out for you? Is there anything that you wish you saw? And also, what do you think of this new way of doing reviews for me? I think the lighting is gonna be a little bit off because I'm still kind of figuring it out, but I hope this video is okay. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Thanks so much for making it to the end of this video. As always, if you want another way of supporting me, these are my books. I am independently published. All the links are in the description, and take care of each other out there. Be friends instead. Until next time, may the force be with you. Live long and prosper, and I'll be back. Lately I've been putting a clip from my audiobooks at the end of my videos, but I just wanted to touch on a few things in this one that I forgot to talk about when I was filming, and one that kind of occurred to me while I was editing. That one being a friend of mine, the same one who reminded me who Zemos Butler was in the finale, said that there was a missed opportunity for Sam to say, "I could do this all day." And initially I really disagreed with him, but after editing, I think he was right. I think I would have gotten pretty fired up to hear Sam, somebody who is not a super soldier, somebody who's just a really well-trained guy, apparently immune to concussions, but that's neither here nor there, saying, "I could do this all day." I think that would have been a nice homage. The other thing I wanted to mention was that, like, I am very aware of the financial privilege I have to be able to go to therapy once every 3 weeks, and that a lot of people aren't in that scenario. And I just really like seeing therapy destigmatized in shows, and I hope that we continue to see this next season. Lastly, I am Canadian, for those of you who don't know, and though I was predominantly talking about the United States, like, there's definitely blood on the hands of the Canadian government and on the hands of people who are not doing anything or enough to help create positive change in the world. And I think that we can all do this together. Like, we are subject to so much American media that I think we all societally, or at least from my experience in Canada and in Europe, we think that we're better than them. And the reality of the situation is we're not. Our prejudices show in different ways, and we all need to be able to work together to create a better world for everyone. And I really hope we can do that, and I look forward to talking to you guys in the comment section about it. All right, see you later.